Hello, my Stampin' friends. Welcome to another episode of Stampin'withCandace.com. I'm Candace coming to you from Hiram, Utah. And I don't remember what I was just going to say, but anyway, I'm glad to have you here. If you are have the opportunity to be watching me live, please give me a shout out and say hello. If you're joining the replay, thanks for joining, and still give me a shout out. Let me know what you think of my projects and what we are doing. One thing before I get started, just some little, I guess, news tidbit, whatever. Uh, any of you that go to my blog, stampin'withcandace.com, I have been working on that. It's been kind of a here, there. I actually realized I've had it for almost 18 years now. That's kind of crazy, but it's really fun. I was looking back through some of the older things that had done at the very beginning, and I think I've grown just a little bit. So, uh, hopefully all of you learn that you can grow in your Stampin' journey as well. But I am trying to update it, add some new changes, new pages and stuff. And I'm really excited. I'm going to be adding a tutorial section. I have had lots of requests for people to asking me to share my projects and my, what's the word I'm looking for? The measurements and details and stuff like that. I've done it a little bit on the blog. And so there'll be different levels depending on the project. Some will be free, some there'll be a slight charge, some you can get as a class. So I'm really excited. I'm going to grab this up. This will be my first one, hopefully posting tomorrow on my blog for all the details of how to make this fun little pop-up Father's Day card. Um, so watch for that. But just so you're aware, there will be a few changes on the blog and hopefully get it updated and be a little bit more consistent. I was really good when I started. But you can always find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, lots of fun places you can find me. But thank you again for joining me. We're going to switch cameras and get started. So I don't know if you've seen this, but I've talked about it before. We have the, what's the word I'm looking for? The, product of the month. That's the word I'm looking for. This is the newest one for June. I actually got it nice and early this month, so I can play with it. Remember, product of the month is only available while supplies last. If you're in the US, you can get it for $5 when you place a $75 order at candaceanderson.stampinup.net. Should be in one of the corners here. But we are going to get started with our fun card. So I found this super cute card in my stash the other day when I was looking for something, and I loved this layout and thought it would be perfect for this. We're also doing the Global Design Challenge this month. I think or this week, 551. I posted it on my page, and the theme is animals. So how perfect is this set for that? So fun. And I decided to make all the cards using the new in color. So we've got hydrangea hue, crisp cantaloupe. This is a returning color, golden glow, peaceful pines, and barely blush. And I paired it with white and black. So I'm going to show you the first card. I made one featuring each of these cute little animals here. And so I'm going to show you how I made it, and then I'll show you the other three cards. Anybody want to guess which animal that I am doing? I'm also featuring the stitched dies. If you don't have these, I've said it a million times, you need to get these, but I'm using the circle and then I'm using this. Now, I was going to use the square, but it wasn't quite the size I wanted. So I used the long little tag here, and I used the circle one. So I'm going to bring this back here so you can kind of see my inspiration here. I did change it up just a little bit, so you'll be able to kind of see. First off, my little guys are smaller than this one, and so I went with a little bit smaller circle. Um, that's one of the first changes that I did there. So I just cut a bunch of 2 by 2 squares out of the in colors. And for this particular one, we are using the Barely Blush and the Crisp Cantaloupe. And then I've pre-cut the circle, and I've cut the little tag here. Um, and then I've got Barely Blush that we're going to put on the inside since I have a black card. So just a note on this one, I did go the 4 1/4 by 11. This particular size, if you're ever doing that, score it first, because I I know I've mentioned this before, but it naturally bends this way. It does not naturally bend this way. So when you score it first, it helps you get a better fold. Otherwise, it sometimes gets a little crinkly. The other way, because it naturally bends that way, you can fold it without scoring. If you're worried, score it either way. It's nice and simple. Okay, so we're going to be using a couple of fun things here. We're going to start with this little guy, and we're going to use the new hybrid ink. On this one, I have found if I kind of press in on the black part here, I can usually kind of get it to pull apart a little bit. It's a really, really tight seal, and that's because of the type of ink that it is. It is a hybrid ink, so you can use it whether you're doing water-based or doing uh, alcohol-based. So this one, I'm making the little koala. Okay. And oh, let's see if I can line that up a little bit better one more time. I didn't get it quite dark enough in that center. That's okay. So we're going to set him aside for a minute and let him dry. And then we're going to work on our stamping. And this has all kinds of fun little things you can do in the background. And I actually used everything in this set but this to make the cards. And you could easily put this on the inside of the cards, on every single one of them that I did. But we are going to be stamping, and where is it? We're going to grab our Crisp Cantaloupe, and we're going to stamp the little hearts just randomly on our Barely Blush here. Just turning it a little bit so that we can get some different angles instead of having it all the same. All right. Now for these two here, before I close this one though, I want to grab my Sending Love, and we're just going to stamp, and we're going to put it pretty close to the cut end on this side, because we're going to actually cut the other side off. For these, even though my saying was different, I cut this size and then I just cut it to whatever I needed. Now I'm going to move these out of the way, and I'm going to move all of this out of the way because we're going to make a little bit of a mess here. I'm going to take my cantaloupe ones, and I don't know if you've seen the new shimmer pens. They come in all the fun little in colors, and they're like a pre-sparkle. And they come with this little white piece in between here. And so it's like in between here. So you take that off and then you squeeze it to get the ink. But once you have it inked, you can actually kind of do this. And if you need to, you can squeeze a little to get more ink on it. But we can just kind of tap it. Now you can flick it in here, but it kind of messes up the end. So I like to just kind of tap it I'm going to turn these a little bit so it's going a different direction. I've got more on that one. Let's try and get a little bit more on this one. And I will show you in a second a little bit closer so you can see what it looks like. There we go. So I'm just kind of shaking some of that sparkle and little dots onto the paper, and that's just going to give it a little bit more texture. Now, one thing when we go to put these on our card, like I said, I cut these 2 by 2, but sometimes our cutting isn't always perfect, but it's okay because we can make them line up the way that we want to pretty easily because we're covering up the center. So I'm more concerned about them lining up on the sides here and on the edge. And I want to make sure, so if I have to, I don't want a gap there. So if I have to overlay it a little bit, it's okay. But right here is not actually as important as around the edges. And that's because we're going to be covering it up with our circle. So this part you're not even going to see. If it's not perfectly straight across one of those, you're not going to be able to tell. You will. So see how this one? Good. This is a perfect example. You see how this one's going to be a little bit shorter than this one? I'm just going to lift this one up and slide it over both directions. So it's okay that it's crossing over here in the middle because when we put our little element over it, you're not going to be able to tell. So if this is not perfect across here, it's okay. That is not as big a deal. So now we're going to add our sending love down along the bottom here. And I have scissors. And then we're just going to snip that off so that we have quick and easy. Now we're going to color this and we are going to use our blends. Yes, it's a koala. Yes, normally it would be gray, but we're going to use our, what is this? Hydrangea hue. Instead, we're going to make it a purple koala because all of these cards, just for fun, I did make them all in these in colors here. So I'm just going a little tiny bit with the darker, and I'm going to use the Barely Blush on the inside of his ears. So one of the things, like I said, we set this one aside to dry a little bit because where it is a hybrid, and I'm going to do his nose in this color as well. Where it's a hybrid ink, I've noticed it does sometimes need to dry a little bit. And then we're going to add our so instead of a gray koala bear, we're going to have kind of a periwinkle or a hydrangea hue koala bear. And because we are being creative, I am taking creative liberties and making my koala bear a different color. I will tell you the reason I chose to do the koala bear for tonight is my grandson's name is Koa, after the koa tree in Hawaii. And I always call him my koa bear. And so I buy him koala bear things. So he has lots of little koala bears because he's my koa bear. So I wanted to make a little sending love card that I could give to my cute little grandson. I had said my granddaughter loves ducks. I don't know what my youngest granddaughter loves because she's only 3.5 4.5 months, something like that. So one of the changes that I did, here it goes. This has these big paper ones coming through here. I decided instead, because we have all these really gorgeous, let me grab the other two, of the in color ribbons here. So I decided to use the in color ribbon there instead. So I'm just going to take a piece like this and I'm going to line it up and I'm going to fold it in half here really quick. Up my ribbon scissors and then I'm just going to cut it. So I cut it from the outside going this direction so that when I open it up, it gives me the same kind of look on here. And then quick and easy, I'm going to put a glue dot, if I can find them, in the middle, and I'm going to fold that in half to kind of give it that spread out look. And then I'll put one on the end and I can place it right here. And then we will add some, I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle to him. I know he is a koala bear, but we're still going to make his nose sparkle a little bit just for fun. And somewhere among all of my stuff, hey, there it is. We're going to grab some dimensionals and throw them on here. All right. And throw our little koala bear. Such a quick, easy layout design. So fun. You can do it in lots of different colors. Final touch, we're going to add some of this really cute ribbon. I guess that's not the final touch because we are going to do the inside really quick. But we're going to add some of this cute ribbon. And this is the reason I went the long way with the card, is because I wanted to do that ribbon all the way around. Another way, if you wanted the card to open the other way, you could have done a piece like this, put the ribbon around it and attached it to the front of the card, especially if you don't want the ribbon on the inside of the card. I was okay with the ribbon being on the inside of my card, but we're going to open it up, and because it's black, I want to make sure that we do the inside. Instead of doing white, I did a matching one of the in colors. So we've got the blushing bride, or blushing, what is it called? Barely Blush. We used to have one called Blushing Bride, so that's why I'm messing it up. And we're going to grab our crisp cantaloupe here and our little hearts. And I'm just going to add a few little hearts to this corner here and a couple up at this top. And then we can put our cute little message in there and add some glue, and we can put that on the inside. So there is our koala bear, and you can kind of see the little sparkles that, adds just a little bit of texture. You could use a die here. You could do this with designer series paper. It'd be another cute way to do it. Here is our little penguin. I think it's a penguin that we did happy birthday. And then I've got the cute little snail. These colors just worked really, really fun. So this one, the birthday hat is separate. So you could really add the birthday hat to any of them if you wanted to. And I did the little presents back there and on the inside. This one's our little snail. And I just did this little hash, whatever it is. I don't know what that's called. but I did that on the background there and on the inside. Again, like I said, you could easily use that last just a little note on the inside. And then here is our cute little cow. Isn't he adorable? And I wasn't sure about doing him in this golden glow, but I really like him. I think he's super cute in that. And that's the inside. So this is the only one that is slightly different. You'll notice all the rest of them, I used the same background on the inside. This one, I felt the green was too dark to write in, so I went with the golden glow on the inside, but the green was dark enough that I could still stamp on it to add to it. So there's your cute cards using this same fun little layout. And the Wild Bunch, you've got to get this. It's seriously too cute. I had to get it the minute I saw the koala bear, obviously. So, but again, NCI used the hydrangea hue on my little penguin as well. The sparkle, the one thing I said this on some of my other ones, the shimmer brush, there is a sparkle. There is definitely a sparkle. You can really see it on this one. There's definitely a sparkle, but it's not quite as much as the what's the word I'm looking for? My favorite one. This one. Wink of Stella. Wink of Stella is definitely still sparklier than, I guess if that's a word, than the shimmer brushes. But the shimmer brushes have that color in them and they are super fun to use. So anyway, I hope you liked those. I had a lot of fun playing with them, and I think I can't wait to play with this set a little bit more. It's really fun. I just barely got it, so I enjoyed playing with that. Like I said, watch for all those fun updates, the tutorials coming on my blog. I'm hoping to get that Father's Day one up tomorrow for you. Things go as planned. But yes, lots of updates on there and lots of fun things to come. I just got a bunch of the new stuff that will be available in the July online exclusive. So I'm planning some fun classes with those. If you haven't checked out the catalog, tons of great products in there as well. So thank you again for joining me. Be sure to like, follow, all of that kind of stuff. And I will see you again next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.